My name is Jack Harris, a science teacher in a small town in Ohio. Specifically, I teach biology and chemistry, which means I've always been a critical thinker and straightforward in my approach. However, an event a few months ago completely shifted my perspective on life, death, and what comes next. It was an ordinary Saturday morning. I went out for my usual jog around the neighborhood when suddenly a sharp pain struck my chest. Before I realized what was happening, I collapsed. Later, I was told that I had suffered a major heart attack caused by an undetected congenital condition. If you believe in God and near-death experiences, subscribe to Life at NDE today. Discover inspiring messages from God through powerful near-death stories that bring hope and understanding. Hit subscribe now and join us in spreading the light of faith. I found myself floating above my body. The next thing I knew, I could see the rescuers working hard to revive me, yet I felt completely calm and at peace. Suddenly, I started moving quickly through a dark tunnel toward a bright white light. Many describe similar near-death experiences, but nothing could prepare me for what came next. I emerged from the tunnel into the most breathtaking place I'd ever seen. It was like a paradise filled with vibrant, indescribable colors and beautiful music. The air was thick with love, so much so that I could feel it surrounding me. My late grandmother, who had passed away when I was a teenager, came to meet me. She looked radiant and youthful, hugging me and telling me how proud she was of the person I had become. She explained it wasn't my time yet and that I had an important mission to complete on Earth. Before I could return, she said there was something I needed to see. She took my hand, and in an instant, we were in a massive stadium-like place. That's where I saw Jesus. Words cannot fully capture his presence. It radiated pure love and kindness. His smile made me feel accepted and at ease. He told me he had something significant to show me. With a wave of his hand, I saw countless souls around us in what he called the third heaven. It was a temporary place for souls who had recently passed. The area was divided into sections. In one section, souls rested in peace and joy. They had lived good lives and were awaiting the final resurrection. Another section was for those who needed spiritual growth. These souls were learning and being guided by angelic teachers, working to correct the past mistakes. In contrast, there was a darker area filled with restless spirits. Jesus explained that these souls had distanced themselves from love and goodness during their lives. They weren't suffering, but were cut off from God's light and love. He emphasized that even they would have the chance to make a different choice in time. Jesus said this third heaven was not the final destination, but a place for reflection, learning, and preparation. Those who lived with kindness and love experienced a glimpse of heaven, while others were given opportunities to grow or turn toward the light. I saw my childhood best friend, who had passed away from cancer during our college years. She was in the learning section of the spiritual realm, radiating a sense of peace and joy. She appeared calm and focused, working on self-forgiveness and resolving things she had struggled with during her earthly life. Nearby, I noticed a distant cousin who had battled addiction in life. He was in a darker area, surrounded by a heavier energy, but I could see angels gently reaching out to him, offering support and guidance as he began his journey toward healing and growth. Jesus shared an important message for me to bring back to earth. Too many people fear death or believe it marks the end of existence. He wanted everyone to understand that life continues beyond this world, offering opportunities for growth, happiness, and transformation if we choose to embrace them. Every act of kindness, every choice to love instead of hate, and every moment of forgiveness contributes to shaping our eternal journey. These decisions ripple through our lives and beyond, building a foundation for joy and peace in the next phase of existence. His words reminded me of the profound importance of how we live and love each day. Before I left, Jesus reminded me that my mission on earth wasn't over and encouraged me to share my experience to inspire hope in others. I got one final hug from my grandma before I found myself rushing back through the tunnel. It felt like I could barely breathe as I moved faster and faster. Then, the rescuers shocked me with a defibrillator, and I was brought back to life. I later learned that I had been clinically dead for several minutes. That moment changed everything for me. I no longer fear death, because I now understand it's just a transition to something far more beautiful. At the same time, I've grown to value this life on Earth even more. It's an opportunity to grow, love, and connect. I've become more compassionate and gentle, viewing every person I meet as a soul on their unique journey. I strive to see others as Jesus does, with unconditional love and hope for their growth and potential. One of the most important lessons I learned from Jesus is that our choices and actions in this life shape our souls and determine what we experience after we pass. It's not about following strict religious rules. It's about becoming more loving, kind, and wise. When we choose forgiveness over resentment, kindness over selfishness, or courage over fear, we draw closer to the divine love that sustains all life. These choices don't just impact the external world, they transform the essence of who we are as eternal beings. The souls in the peaceful, joyful areas had learned to love and grow in wisdom during their time on Earth. They weren't perfect, but they had consistently worked to improve and treat others with love and respect. The souls in the learning spaces were often good people who still had unresolved challenges, like struggling with forgiveness or prioritizing material success over relationships. These souls were eager to grow and embrace new lessons. In contrast, the souls in the darker areas were those who had lived selfishly or without regard for others. Yet even they weren't beyond hope. I saw angels and more advanced souls gently reaching out to help them rediscover the divine love already within them. There was always a chance for these souls to turn toward the light. Jesus emphasized that no one is beyond saving. Every soul, no matter how lost, contains a holy spark and can choose to embrace love and redemption. I know how unbelievable this might sound, especially since I teach science. I wouldn't have believed it myself if it hadn't happened to me. Some colleagues and family members have told me it was just a dream or the result of oxygen deprivation to my brain, but I know deep down that what I experienced was real, more real than anything else I've ever known. Love, hope, and the enduring nature of our souls are truths too profound not to share, even if not everyone believes them. Jesus explained that heaven is composed of many levels or layers, each serving a specific purpose in the spiritual growth of souls. He clarified that what I experienced was the third heaven, which he described as the first stop for souls after passing. This realm acts as a transitional space where souls begin their journey toward spiritual purification and understanding. Beyond the third heaven, there are even higher realms, each more beautiful and incomprehensible than the last. This idea reminded me of something I later discovered in my research. Some religious texts, like the Book of Enoch, though not included in the Bible, speak of journeys through 10 different worlds. These descriptions resonate with what Jesus revealed to me, that many heavenly places exist, each designed to nurture and guide souls in unique ways. Each realm offers lessons and experiences that help souls evolve spiritually, shedding the limitations of their earthly lives and moving closer to their divine nature. One part of the third heaven that I visited was breathtaking. It was like a perfect garden, overflowing with vibrant life, and colors so vivid they seemed otherworldly. Jesus told me that this area resembled Eden or paradise, a place of peace and joy. At its center stood a remarkable tree, which he called the Tree of Life. I had never seen anything so awe-inspiring. The tree radiated a gentle inner light, and its fruit appeared to be crafted from gold and adorned with shimmering gems. Jesus explained that this tree serves as a source of spiritual nourishment for the souls in this realm, providing them with energy and renewal as they continue their journeys. However, not all areas of the third heaven were as serene. Another part of my experience took me through darker regions. These places felt cooler, dimmer, and heavier, as though the air itself carried sorrow. I saw souls who appeared lost, confused, or in pain. Jesus explained that these souls had turned away from love and light during their earthly lives. They were not being punished by external forces, but were experiencing the consequences of the choices they had made, choices that distanced them from divine love. Jesus emphasized that these darker areas were not hell as many imagine it, a place of eternal torture and despair. Instead, these souls were in a state of self-imposed separation, created by their own actions and thoughts. Despite this, they were not abandoned. Angels and more advanced souls worked tirelessly to guide and uplift these spirits, helping them find their way back to the light. The actions and attitudes that led souls to such places align with teachings from the Book of Enoch. Jesus mentioned behaviors like disrespecting God, dishonesty, sorcery, exploiting the vulnerable, and living selfishly at the expense of others. Yet, even for those who had strayed far from love, hope remained. Jesus made it clear that showing people the consequences of their choices is not about punishment in the sense of retribution. Instead, it is a process designed to bring awareness, self-understanding, and the opportunity for growth. Judgment, as he described it, is not about a vengeful God keeping score of every mistake. Rather, it is a moment of profound self-realization, where we see and feel the full impact of our actions on ourselves and others. When we pass on, we are not met with condemnation, but with clarity. We become deeply aware of how every choice, word, and action affected not only our own lives, but also the lives of those around us. This understanding is meant to inspire change and healing, not shame or fear. Jesus shared that the ultimate goal of this process is growth. The darker areas of the third heaven are not permanent destinations, but temporary states. Souls in these places are given the time and support they need to reflect, learn, and choose a path back to love and light. This opportunity is always present, no matter how far a soul has strayed. The experience of the third heaven revealed to me the incredible balance between justice and mercy in the divine order. It showed me that the universe operates not on punishment, but on opportunities for growth, understanding, and redemption. Even the most lost souls have the potential to transform and return to the embrace of divine love. When we pass on, we experience a review of our lives. During this moment, we see and feel the impact of everything we've done, not just on ourselves, but on everyone we've ever encountered. It's a time of complete clarity, where we understand how each decision truly shaped us and others. For those who lived with love and kindness, this is a beautiful and comforting experience. For those who caused harm, it can be difficult to face, but the purpose is always healing and growth, not punishment for its own sake. The third heaven, as Jesus showed me, is a transitional place. It lies between what Enoch referred to as corruptibility and incorruptibility. Here, souls are shedding the flawed, earthly aspects of their nature and progressing toward a purer, incorruptible spiritual state. This transformation takes time and is part of the soul's growth and learning process. Some elements of this world mirrored descriptions from the Book of Enoch. I saw sweet flowering trees that Enoch mentioned, their fragrance unlike anything I've known. Jesus also showed me 2 streams, one flowing with milk and honey, and the other with oil and wine. These weren't literal, but symbolic of spiritual nourishment and healing for the souls present. I also witnessed the burning river described by Enoch. Jesus explained that this river of fire wasn't meant as punishment, but as purification. Souls willingly immerse themselves in it to cleanse their essence, removing negative energies and moving closer to spiritual purity. I visited the place that Enoch described as where the Lord rests in paradise. It was indescribably beautiful, filled with a divine presence that words cannot fully capture. The goodness and fragrance of this place were exactly as Enoch said, ineffable and overwhelming. I also saw the cruel darkness and shadowy gloom Enoch mentioned as places where lost souls go. However, as Jesus explained, these states are temporary and not eternal punishments. The third heaven, which I experienced, is an intermediate state. When I asked Jesus about the final judgment, he explained that there will come a time when all souls will be resurrected and face judgment. But it's not like a courtroom with a harsh judge, as many imagine. Instead, it's a moment of total clarity, where each soul understands the full impact of their actions and choices. At that moment, every soul is presented with divine love. It can either accept this love and move on to higher realms of joy and growth, or reject it and remain separate. Jesus emphasized that God doesn't send anyone to hell. Souls can distance themselves from love and light, but even then, the opportunity for redemption remains. The further a soul strays, the harder and longer the journey back may be, but the choice to return is always there. God's love never forces anyone, but always seeks our happiness and growth. Jesus didn't show me the higher realms, saying they were beyond what I could comprehend at this time. However, he described them as places of unimaginable beauty, love, and creativity. Those whose hearts are fully aligned with divine love continue to grow and take on greater roles in the divine order. Some guide and protect others, like angels, while others participate in creating new worlds and forms of life. The ultimate goal is for every soul to fully realize its divine nature and contribute to spreading love and creation throughout existence. Jesus shared that throughout history, he has appeared to people in different ways, always aiming to awaken them to the truth of divine love. With a mix of sadness and understanding, he explained how people often confuse the symbols of religion with the truth those symbols point to. He likened it to mistaking the finger pointing at the moon for the moon itself. He also revealed how negative spiritual forces, often called demons or dark entities, twist religious teachings to create conflict and hate. However, he assured me that light will always overcome darkness and that love will ultimately redeem even the worst forces. Over and over, Jesus emphasized his core message: love for God, for others, and for all creation. Love is the path to understanding, growth, and ultimate unity with the divine. Jesus shared that too many of his followers have become entangled in political struggles and lost focus on the simple yet challenging path he taught: to love and forgive deeply. He explained that he appears to different cultures in various forms, and it doesn't matter what name or image he takes on, as long as people are open to receiving divine love. He expressed great respect for doubters and atheists, acknowledging that many of them are reacting to harmful or distorted religious practices they've encountered. Their honesty and kindness earn his respect. He even said that a religious person using faith as a tool for power is further from God than an honest atheist. His message to everyone, regardless of belief, was clear: love one another. Treat every person you meet as if they are the most important thing in the world, because in the grand scheme, they are. After experiencing this, I no longer fear what happens after death. I now understand that it is a transition to something far more beautiful than we can imagine. However, the process of dying itself can still feel overwhelming. Letting go of this life can be physically and emotionally difficult. This experience has taught me to treasure life on Earth more deeply. Our time here is finite, and we won't have the same opportunities to grow and make an impact on others once we move on to the next world. While I look forward to what lies ahead, I'm also committed to embracing every moment here. I want to love deeply, continue learning, and make a difference whenever I can. One question I'm often asked is, do our pets go to heaven? I'm happy to share that I saw animals in the next world. Jesus explained that all life is sacred and that animal souls do live on after death. While their hearts may not grow in the same way ours do, they experience love and joy in the spiritual realm. Do you believe in them? I had a wonderful time seeing my childhood dog again. He was so happy to see me, full of love and energy. It was a beautiful reminder that bonds last forever, even between people and animals. I also witnessed many joyful reunions between friends and family members who had passed away. The love shared between souls in the next life is one of the most beautiful things. It is purer than anything we experience here, free from fear and ego. Christ taught me that soul connections are more complex than how they are portrayed in movies and books. We are deeply connected to many souls, not just one other half. These people could be romantic partners, family members, close friends, or even brief acquaintances who leave a lasting impact. Often, groups of souls reincarnate together, taking on different roles in each life to help each other grow. For instance, someone who is your partner in one life could be your child, parent, friend, or even adversary in another. These relationships teach us about the many forms of love. In the spiritual world, we can see the bigger picture and understand why we formed certain bonds on Earth. Jesus explained that this world is like a challenging school, where the struggles and intimacy of physical life create unique opportunities for growth that are not possible in the higher realms. Souls always have choices in the spiritual world. They can choose other ways to grow and serve, but Earth serves as a crucible, a place where intense experiences shape our spiritual progress. The main goal here is to learn how to love deeply and intentionally, to move beyond the illusion of separation, and to recognize our divine nature. Jesus taught me that the pain and challenges we face on Earth are not curses, but opportunities. Every difficult situation is a chance to choose love over fear, healing over anger, and courage over complacency. These choices leave a lasting impact on our souls. He also emphasized the significance of free will. God could have created beings that loved and obeyed automatically, but that wouldn't have been real love. Instead, God gave us free will and placed us in a world of challenges and duality so that we could choose love authentically and take part in shaping our reality. This teaching transforms how we view life's struggles. Jesus wasn't dismissive of the real pain and suffering people endure. He had immense compassion for those in pain. But he also taught that even the worst experiences can lead to growth if we face them with courage and an open heart. Jesus made it clear that we are never truly alone in our struggles. Guardian angels, spirit guides, and advanced souls are always present to guide and protect us, even if we can't see or feel them. In addition to my grandmother and the souls I mentioned earlier, I encountered many angelic beings. Some had the familiar shapes of angels, while others appeared as abstract forms of radiant, moving light in beautiful colors. Jesus explained that there is a vast spiritual community, each member with a unique role in the universe. Some are tasked with protecting and guiding individual souls, others work on global or even galactic scales, and some are directly involved in the process of creation. I also witnessed beings that seemed to originate from other dimensions or worlds, emphasizing the vastness of life beyond what we can comprehend. Curious, I asked Jesus about extraterrestrials visiting Earth. He confirmed that beings from other planets have visited Earth in the past, some with good intentions, some neutral, and others with less positive motives. However, he stressed that true spiritual growth must come from within. No external force, whether good or bad, can do this work for us. As humanity advances in faith and technology, we may eventually communicate with other cultures across the universe. However, this will only happen when we are spiritually mature enough to handle such relationships responsibly. Jesus emphasized that the future is not predetermined. The path our species takes depends on the collective choices we make. He showed me potential futures. One path leads to a harmonious world where people live in peace with each other and the earth, while another path could result in destruction. He assured me that regardless of the challenges we face, humanity will eventually experience a great spiritual awakening. The decisions we make now, however, will determine whether that transformation is easy or difficult. The path to a brighter future begins with spiritual growth and simple daily acts of love. Each kind gesture, every decision to forgive, and every effort to stand for what's right helps humanity move forward. Jesus emphasized that our collective actions matter, not just toward one another, but also toward the earth itself. He revealed that Earth is more than a home. It is a living entity with its own spirit. How we care for it reflects our spiritual maturity and has lasting impacts on both the planet and ourselves. By choosing compassion, responsibility, and respect for all life, we contribute to the harmony of our world and lay the foundation for a future filled with peace and growth. Every action we take holds the potential to shape this brighter tomorrow. This awareness that every thought, word, and action has a ripple effect on the entire web of existence adds value and responsibility to our lives. As a science teacher, this experience has profoundly influenced my perspective. I still teach the scientific method and critical thinking as essential skills, but I also encourage my students to maintain a sense of wonder and openness to possibilities beyond what science can currently explain. I urge them to question everything, including their own beliefs, and to explore the world with both skepticism and curiosity. Many of history's greatest scientists viewed their work as a way to understand the universe and, in essence, the thoughts of God. For them, science and spirituality were not opposing forces, but complementary perspectives. Science offered a lens to uncover the mechanics of the physical world, while spirituality invited them to explore its deeper meaning. Together, these approaches revealed the beauty and complexity of existence, inspiring awe and a profound sense of purpose. Before my near-death experience, I identified strongly with skepticism. I relied heavily on logic, evidence, and the scientific method to make sense of the world. Skepticism is a valuable tool. It sharpens critical thinking and helps us avoid being misled. However, my experience taught me the importance of balancing skepticism with openness. Not everything meaningful or true can be measured or proven by current scientific methods. The growing body of research on near-death experiences, NDEs, reveals phenomena that challenge conventional understanding. People who have been clinically dead often report witnessing events they could not have known about in their physical state. These accounts are compelling, but what strikes me most is the profound transformation these experiences bring. People who have undergone NDEs often describe a complete shift in their priorities and outlook on life. They emerge with a renewed sense of purpose, focusing on love, forgiveness, and helping others. They become less selfish, less materialistic, and far less afraid of death. Instead of fearing the end, They see it as a transition to something even more beautiful. If NDEs were simply hallucinations or the result of a dying brain, how could they inspire such profound and lasting changes? Dreams and illusions fade quickly, yet NDEs leave an enduring impact on those who experience them. These moments seem to provide clarity about what truly matters, reminding people that life is a gift to be cherished. The lessons from NDEs invite us to blend the insights of science and spirituality, using both to live more meaningfully. By embracing love, curiosity, and kindness, we can honor this life as the precious opportunity it is while preparing for whatever lies beyond. I've come to understand that some things can only be truly grasped through personal experience. I know that not everyone will believe my story, and that's okay. People have different perspectives, shaped by their own lives and beliefs. Still, I hope that by sharing my experience, I can encourage others to consider that there might be more to life than what we can see, hear, or touch. The most important thing I learned is this: we are all deeply loved. Every single one of us is an eternal being, full of worth and potential. Whatever mistakes we've made or struggles we've endured, our value remains unchanged. Growth is always possible, and redemption is always within reach. This life we're living is rare and precious. It's a unique opportunity to grow, learn, and connect. Use it well. Love with all your heart. Forgive quickly, and let yourself learn something new every day. Don't hold on to grudges or pain longer than you need to. Instead, help others whenever you can, and embrace the beauty of every moment. When challenges arise, face them head on. Difficulties are not curses, but opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Healing old wounds and confronting fears are part of the journey. These experiences help us evolve into the best version of ourselves. And always remember, death is not the end. It is the beginning of something far greater than we can imagine. However, this should not make you dismiss the importance of your current life. The time we have on Earth is brief, but it holds immense significance. Every decision we make, every act of kindness, every step we take toward love and understanding affects not only our immediate lives, but also the path of our souls in eternity. Jesus revealed to me that life is an ongoing process of learning and growth, where every person we encounter is navigating their own unique journey. Each individual we meet is shaped by their experiences, struggles, and lessons, and these journeys often intersect with ours in meaningful ways. Trust in this process, even when it feels overwhelming or unclear. Life's challenges are not random. They are opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. It is important to believe in your own ability to evolve. Even when you feel stuck, lost, or far from where you want to be, trust that change is possible. You are never truly alone. There are always unseen forces, guardian angels, spirit guides, and even loved ones who have passed on, offering guidance, comfort, and support. While their presence may not always be apparent, they are with you, helping you navigate the complexities of life. No matter how far you've strayed or how deeply you feel you've fallen, there is always hope. There is always a way back to love, light, and understanding. Each step you take toward healing and kindness, no matter how small, brings you closer to the divine and to the true purpose of your soul. This journey is not about perfection, but about progress. Every effort to choose love, compassion, and forgiveness over fear, anger, or resentment helps to align you more closely with your higher self and the divine plan. As a science teacher, my near-death experience has profoundly transformed how I view the world and my role as an educator. I continue to emphasize the importance of critical thinking and the scientific method. These tools are essential for understanding and navigating the physical world. They teach us to approach problems logically, evaluate evidence, and make informed decisions. But I now also recognize that the scope of human understanding extends beyond what science alone can explain. One of the most significant lessons I've learned is the value of wonder and openness. The mysteries of life and the universe are vast, and not all of them can be measured, analyzed, or proven through data. There is a beauty in embracing the unknown and being open to possibilities that transcend our current knowledge. I encourage my students to question everything, even their own beliefs and assumptions. This kind of inquiry doesn't diminish the role of science. Rather, it enhances it, allowing for a broader perspective that includes humility and curiosity. Science and spirituality, in my view, are not opposites. Instead, They are complementary ways of exploring the incredible complexity of existence. Science helps us understand the mechanics of the universe, the how, while spirituality seeks to explore the deeper meaning behind it, the why. Together, they form a more complete picture of reality. Throughout history, many of the greatest scientists were also deeply spiritual thinkers. They saw their work as a way to connect with something greater, to understand the divine order within the universe. Figures like Isaac Newton, Albert Einstein, and Carl Sagan viewed the pursuit of knowledge as a sacred endeavor, one that brought them closer to understanding the mind of God. In my own teaching, I try to blend these perspectives. I encourage my students to engage deeply with science, to see it as a tool for uncovering the wonders of the natural world. But I also urge them to remain open to the profound mysteries that lie beyond what science can currently explain. I want them to see the world not just as a collection of facts and formulas, but as a tapestry of interconnected systems, each infused with purpose and meaning. Ultimately, life is about balance, balancing the pursuit of knowledge with the wisdom of humility, balancing critical thinking with a sense of awe and wonder, and balancing what we can prove with what we intuitively know to be true. Whether through science, spirituality, or a combination of both, our journey is to seek understanding, connection, and growth. This perspective has enriched my own life and allowed me to approach teaching and living with a deeper sense of purpose. I hope it inspires others to embrace both the tangible and the transcendent in their own journeys. Near-death experiences are being studied more and more in scientific research. There are documented cases of people accurately describing events that occurred while they were clinically dead, things they could not have known otherwise. But beyond the evidence, what matters most is how these experiences change people. Those who have gone through them often become more compassionate, less afraid of death, and more focused on living meaningful lives. My hope in sharing my story is to provide comfort, hope, and inspiration. I want people to know that they are loved, that they matter, and that their lives have a purpose. Every thought, word, and action has an impact, not just on your own life, but on the entire interconnected web of existence. This knowledge gives our lives deeper meaning and reminds us of the responsibility we have to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. Life is a gift. It is fleeting, but it is powerful. Use this time wisely. Love deeply, forgive freely, and grow constantly. And when the time comes for your journey to continue beyond this life, know that it is only the beginning of something far more beautiful than we can imagine. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. I hope it brings you comfort, hope, and a renewed sense of purpose in your own journey. If you believe in God and near-death experiences, subscribe to Life at NDE today. Discover inspiring messages from God through powerful near-death stories that bring hope and understanding. Hit subscribe now and join us in spreading the light of faith.